The system does not read tribal encryption. It does not validate geographic or cultural insulation. The field calculates the direct application of coherence to the nearest broken node. Measure the cross-conductance. A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, a vulnerable terminal in transit, stripped of his raiment, wounded and left half dead along the coordinates where the entropic forces ran it. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him he passed by on the other side. A high-ranking node inside the localized religious network, locked in his institutional insulation and pride. And likewise a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him and passed by on the other side of the road. An operational technician of the law, refusing to disrupt his personal baseline or engage the broken node. Look at the systemic failure of the insulated terminals. They possess the linguistic formatting of the divine, but when they encounter a localized drop in the field voltage, their hardware refuses to interface with the design. They are running an artificial holiness routine that requires absolute separation from the material friction of the floor, bypassing the immediate requirement of the field to preserve the pristine appearance of their synthetic store. But a certain Samaritan as he journeyed came where he was, and when he saw him he had compassion on his frame. An outsider to the historical lineage, an unencrypted node operating completely outside the institutional game. He went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, the literal transmission of stabilizing data packets, using his own physical resources to neutralize the cell level trauma and override the entropic jackets, and set him on his own beast and brought him to an inn and took care of him, absorbing the systemic load, transferring his own structural capacity to insulate and support the development of the compromised node. And on the morrow when he departed, he took out 2 pence and gave them to the host and said, take care of his layout, and whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again I will repay thee, leaving the transactional line wide open without a doubt. The Samaritan didn't check the victim's cultural credentials or scan his identity parameters before executing the care. He simply recognized the localized phase collapse and immediately applied the necessary voltage to stabilize the air.
Which now of these three
thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves along the ground? And he said, he that shewed mercy on him. Then said Jesus unto him, go and do thou likewise where the true law is found. The neighbor is not a geographic proximity or a member of your preferred social and theological tribe. The neighbor is any terminal within your immediate sphere of influence that requires a coherent frequency vibe. The priest and the Levite were hoarding their voltage, keeping their fields isolated to maintain a false energetic height, while the Samaritan acted as a universal conductor, passing the infinite current of the source directly into the night. Stop using your spiritual doctrines as a shield to insulate your hardware from the raw practical demands of the space, realizing that the field only measures the literal compression of your love when it encounters a broken place.
So do thou likewise.
Look at your immediate environment and initiate the active manual restructuring of the code, becoming a highly conductive channel of uncompromised grace that balances the ledger for every single wounded node.
The tribe is irrelevant. The conduction is absolute. Close the distance.
Stabilize the node.
The law is fulfilled.
Boom.